You ever wake up to a morning so quiet you can hear the world breathing, only to have someone barge in and try to rip your piece apart? That's how my Thursday started, standing on my porch with a steaming mug of coffee, watching fog curl over Willow Creek, when Karen from the HOA, that Karen storms up waving papers like she's serving a warrant. "Tear down your gate, Mike," she says, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "It's blocking community access." I'm standing there, half awake, staring at this woman in a neon orange vest, looking like she's directing traffic at a marathon, telling me the gate my grandpa hammered together in the 60s is suddenly a neighborhood crime. This gate-old oak, iron hinges rusted just right, initials carved from when I was a kid. It's been here longer than most of these McMansions, and now it's a problem. I sip my coffee, try not to laugh, and ask, "Karen, since when does my family's land belong to your clipboard?" She hands me this official-looking notice, all fancy letterhead and signatures, claiming my gate violates some creekside pathway ordinance. I'm a mechanic for the fire department, so I know a thing or two about rules, but this smells like someone's power trip. The paper says my gate's blocking access to a trail that, let's be real, nobody uses because the creek's got a public dock half a mile down. I point to the post my grandpa set in the ground, worn smooth by decades of rain, and say, "This gate's older than your HOA. What makes you think you can rewrite history?" Karen adjusts her vest, clutching her stack of glossy brochures from some outfit called Green Path Designs, and goes, "Mike, this isn't personnel, it's about accessibility for all residents." Accessibility? For what? The deer that wander through at dawn? I flip through her brochure's fancy trail maps, ramp designs, price tags that'd make a car dealer blush, and I'm thinking, who's cashing in on this? I tell her, "Show me the law that says my private property's your playground, and I'll think about it." She gives me this tight smile, says I've got 2 weeks to comply, and struts off like she's won something. That night, I'm on my porch, still steaming, when I catch a flicker by the gate. Not deer this time. Someone's out there with a flashlight, snapping photos, positioning what looks like rescue gear to make it seem like my gate's barricading a war zone. I grab my phone, zoom in, and sure enough, they're staging Edo Range cones, a life preserver, the works like my gate's keeping ambulances from the creek. By morning, the neighborhood's Facebook group is blowing up with these photos, captions screaming, "Selfish homeowner blocks emergency access," and "What if a kid drowns because of this gate?" I'm like, "Hold Yup, emergency crews use the county dock, not my backyard trail." I call the fire department dispatcher, my buddy Tom, who's been on the job longer than me. He's confused as hell. "Mike, we've launched boats from the dock for 20 years. Your trail? Never touched it." I checked the photo Metadataticon at midnight, geotagged on my land without permission. Someone's playing dirty. I post a response online, laying it out. These photos are staged. Fire department confirms they don't use my trail. Here's their number, call and check. But the damage is done. Neighbors I've known forever are sharing these posts, saying stuff like, "Property rights don't trump safety," and "Think of the kids." I'm thinking, what kids? Nobody's drowning in a creek with a public dock. Then Monday rolls around, and there's a knock. This guy in khakis, calling himself a heritage compliance specialist from Green Path Designs, stands on my porch with a clipboard and a smirk. "Mr. Larson," he says, "your gate violates historic district standards. We need to discuss removal to avoid penalties." Historic district? Since when? My grandpa built this cabin before half these rules existed. I ask, "You're telling me my 60-year-old gate's not historic enough, but your shiny new trail is?" He spreads out papers, rattling off jargon about structural conformity and community aesthetics, but something's off. His license looks fresh, like it was printed last week. I step inside, pretending to grab coffee, and run a quick check on my phone. Guy's license? Expired 2 years ago. And get this, Green Path paid him a fat check for consulting last month. I come back, phone recording, and say, funny thing about historic preservation, it protects old stuff like my gate, not your overpriced ramps. I show him my grandpa's permits from '62, county stamped and all. His face goes pale, like he's been caught stealing. He mumbles something about consulting his team and bolts, leaving his papers behind. That's when it hits his isn't just about my gate. Karen's running a whole operation. I dig deeper and find out she's been pushing committees, landscaping, creek management, you name it, gang up on older properties like mine. They're holding emergency votes with no notice, fudging quorum rules. And here's the kicker, using forged board signatures to make it look legit. I go to a landscaping meeting, and there's Karen, not even a member, steering the room like she's the mayor, waving those same glossy brochures. I set my recorder on the table and say, you know, these committees don't have power over pre-HOA cabins, right? The room goes quiet. A couple members look at Karen like, what's he talking about? I start talking to neighbors, folks like Jim and Sarah, who've got a cabin from the '70s, or Mrs. Carter, who's been here since Nixon. They're shocked. Karen told us we'd lose our deck if we didn't comply, Jim says. Sarah chimes in. She said the board approved it all. I show them the forged signatures, the fake Heritage District papers, and it's like a light bulb goes off. We're not just fighting for my gate, we're fighting for every old cabin on this creek. By Sunday, I've got 10 families in Jim's living room, poring over evidence. Rick, a retired lawyer who's been sniffing around, drops a bomb. Karen's been forging board approvals for months, not just for Mike's gay deck violations, tree removals, you name it. The room's buzzing. Mrs. Carter's shaking her head, saying, I thought I was alone in this. Then my phone rings. Deputy Sanders from the sheriff's office. Mike, we're investigating Karen for fraud. Got any documents on those fake signatures? I send him everything, and he says, brace yourself, not done yet. Tuesday's emergency board meeting is packed, like the whole town's shown up. I stand up, heart pounding, and lay it all out: forged signatures, staged photos, expired licenses, the works. Neighbors bring their own stories, fake violation notices, pressure to pay Green Path for upgrades. One board member, Ellen, looks at the signature on a document and gasps. That's not mine. The crowd's murmuring, angry. Deputy Sanders walks in, slams a folder down, and says, this is now a criminal investigation. Preserve all records. Karen's in the back, silent, arms crossed, looking like she's planning her escape. The board votes that night. Karen's out, all her fake actions voided, and they're hiring a lawyer to clean up the mess. A week later, I'm standing by my gate as county inspectors bolt a heritage plaque onto it. My grandpa's cabin and every old property here is now protected by law. No HOA can touch us. Karen? She's facing charges, forgery, fraud, the whole deal. She's got to pay for legal notices and do community service, teaching HOA rules of all things. The best part? My gate's still here, stronger than ever, with a sign explaining its history and our rights. We started a Willow Creek Heritage Day, where kids learn about old cabins and families celebrate what makes this place special. What Karen meant to destroy became a symbol of why we're here: family, history, freedom. Standing by the creek at sunset, watching the fog roll in, I realized the real win wasn't just saving my gate. It was shining a light on lies until they crumbled. If you were me, would you have fought this hard or just torn the gate down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's worth standing up for in your world? Hit like if you're with me, subscribe for more stories, and tap that thanks button if you're feeling it. Stay real out there.